Nirvana means in Sanskrit, blow out. That is, exhale the breath.
And it just did it for you.
It doesn't do it for you, but it templates it, so it makes it way easier.
Weird.
Guys, welcome back to the podcast. I'm sitting here. I think this is episode 20, actually.
Congratulations.
Welcome, Aaron.
It's a nice round number. I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Welcome back, dude.
It's good to be back.
You've actually been here before.
I haven't been here at this location, but I've been in this space with you.
You have.
Yes.
I love it. That's what I mean, podcast land.
Yeah, yeah.
This is actually not my set. This is just my living room.
It's a good. It's good for both, though. It's a good living room and a good set.
Yeah, I just had to maximize the space.
Good art.
Too much art. I kind of want to redo.
Can you
art
have too
here,
much art, though? Really?
I have too much art. You should see my garage. I'm trying to get rid of shit.
I guess that's a good thing to have too much of is art.
Yeah, it's just more about like meaning. I feel like meaningful art is what you need. It's when you like have a bunch of shit where you're like, I'm not connected to this.
Mm-hmm. Like it's just for, like it's just kind of trendy.
Yeah, or I don't know. It's not things I've made, so it's just things I collect a lot of things just because I feel like I'll repurpose the frame.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? But then I end up with 100, 200 frames, and I'm like, I don't know if this was a good idea or not.
I mean, frames are expensive.
They are, but they also get fucked up easy if you're not like, treating them right.
That's true.
So like
They're delicate.
A lot of them are like, I should probably just get rid of them anyways.
I need some frames.
Dude, you
for
should
some stuff.
I'll show you.
I should go through your art.
I'm gonna have a garage sale.
I need some more
weekend.
decor for the Airbnb.
Anyways, welcome back to the podcast, guys. Today's been a long day. I did another interview earlier. Did a photo shoot too. But it's fun to have you here. I want to talk about wood, man.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about wood.
Let's go a little bit deeper on just like who you are real quick and like kind of what you've done and like what your passions are.
Sure.
And then I forgot to ask you before, but maybe we can talk about like some shibari a little bit too, maybe.
Yeah, we can talk about shibari.
Otherwise, we can cut whatever we want out.
You're talking about cooking, right? The shibari cooking.
Is it? Am I saying it wrong?
No, you're saying it right.
I am, right?
It's just in case you wanted to cut it.
No,
out,
I want to talk about like the art of knotting and shit.
Yeah, for sure. I would.
And just like we're talking about it now, but it's
I'd love to talk about it.
We're not easing our way into it. You know what I mean? We're just jamming it down their throats at this point. Sorry, jokes.
I mean, that's the culture.
Maybe I'll
these days is force feeding people things, ideas.
Guys, I'm 20 episodes in right now. I have not gotten much better at this, but I'm trying.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah. I think just doing it is fun too.
Yeah.
Like even if they are just kind of goofy and a little random, I think people do actually like that. It's just as long as you kind of talk about cool topics, get cool people in here, you know what I mean? Like I did an interview the other day with like this 21-year-old, and that's when the first time I was really like, okay, it's harder to like, if you haven't mastered something, to like pull things out of people. Like I'm learning how to kind of just keep a conversation kind of going, but then how do you highlight someone when they haven't really done that much type of thing? And then like, how do you, you know what I mean?
How do you draw someone's, how do you draw them into a conversation with things that they love or about things they love if they've thought through things deeply? And if some people don't want to talk about what they love or they don't want to talk about, they get shy.
Yeah.
So how you make them feel comfortable. How do you draw that out of them? That's
totally.
That's a gift.
Well, I feel like I'm sitting here with a master today, so I'm a little excited.
a master of bullshit.
You've got some mastery in you. That's what I mean. Like mastery, like you've kind of mastered. I mean, you do some amazing woodworking stuff, dude.
Thank you very much.
Like where I would be like, he's a master at it.
You know, it's funny because I would consider myself a novice compared to the people that I follow and watch.
That's what every smart man should say.
It's it's like you can close your eyes to the amazing things that people are doing around you and lose out, or you can do the uncomfortable thing and look at things that are better than what you produce.
100%.
And it's not easy, especially as you get older and especially as you kind of start to get to the border of your abilities and patience.
Yeah. Well, there's so many things that go into like that kind of creative scale where it's like a lot of it is funding, a lot of it is the opportunities too. Like I'm sure there's a lot of like networking when it comes down to that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. It's like I remember when I first started doing this stuff. This was about 10 years ago ish. And when I started, I was like, oh, I'll build my shop. It's going to be a great shop. It sounded like Trump. Sorry. It's going to be a great shop. So it's going to be a great shop. It's going to be beautiful, and I knew it. And
It's a beautiful shop.
it's the best shop in Wisconsin. Greatest. It's
the greatest.
So it's gonna. And then I was like, oh, and this is when Live Edge was kind of getting hot. Live Edge furniture and
I think
like,
people
and I had a
just
tree
going back to
service
the
at the
wood.
time. I had a tree service at the
Yeah,
time, so I had all of this wood available to me. And I thought, oh, just make some cool stuff and sell it. Well, yeah, good luck selling it.
Yeah.
Like, you can make the coolest shit, but where's the outlet? How do you get it out there? And then you can learn the coolest skills, which I feel like I've a great accomplishment is some of the skills I've learned is in particular Asian timber framing. But like, okay, well, that's the first step. The second step is figuring out how to, have someone hire you. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm realizing now, even 10 years later. I'm like, I've had work come in just from Instagram and website and optimizing stuff on Google for timber framing and furniture, but it really isn't as much as I'd like it to be. So there's lulls, you can have the feast or famine. And so recently I've been like, you need to network, dude. You've got to get out and meet architects, and interior designers, which I've been doing, and it's been paying off a little bit, little by little. But you got to really get involved with that society of people. They got to know who you are. I've heard it said it's not what you know, it's who you know. But now I've also heard it said it's not who you know, it's who knows you.
Yeah.
Who remembers you?
Totally. Well, I wonder if they do it's almost like a rock. How they have tour managers for shows for artists, for musicians, tying it into musicians.
Like a promoter.
But then I wonder if there's something like that for high end furniture galleries. Because have you ever heard of HD Buttercup? It's like where you go if you live in LA and you want to deck out your mansion.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it like a website? It's like a...
Well, they house designers, so it's all designer stuff in there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, so they're curating.
I can dig up some photos on my phone. I don't have my phone on me, but I'll put one in here. I took the crew there on my last trip to LA, and everybody was blown away. You could buy a $20,000 spaceship that looks like the recreation of what landed on the moon, and then when you open it inside, there's a painting that David did of this the woman, the woman in the ocean. I don't know. It's a
Venus.
Maybe it's Venus.
Like in the clam.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's that, or it's the fingerprint one. I can't quite remember. It's one of the two in there. But it's like a little bar inside.
Is it Michelangelo with that?
Yeah, it might have been
Sistine
Michelangelo.
Chapel.
I can't remember. It was some old painting like that, Renaissance style painting. But it was just insanely cool. You get in it. It was just like a little smoke, something you put in your $1 million backyard.
I would like to know. I would like to get in contact with those people because I've got some weird stuff I've made, and I would love to make more weird stuff.
Yeah, well, because I feel like that's what you need. That's how those things get sold. It's all about where are these rich people kind of shopping for their.
This is the whole new realm for me. I can design some really cool stuff. I can imagine a lot of neat things,
or your shit in the Hamptons,
and then I can make
would
it.
Eat that shit up.
Right. So I can design and I can make, but the next evolutionary step for me is getting more of my work out there. Yeah, scaling exactly. More people need to know who I am and what I make, and it's good. It's growing, and it's been good, and I have a reputation, which is great, and I do have a circle of architects and designers that call on me.
Yeah.
But the stuff I make. It's not like there's a shit ton of people who even understand it or want it,
Yeah.
And so
the thing that I'll hit back on that is the woodworking content online gets so many millions of views.
Yeah, right. It's
that
growing.
It's like people, for some reason, people are very interested in that kind of stuff.
More so than ever.
Yeah.
More so than ever. I get inquiries every year. I get more and more inquiries from stout students in the ID department who want to
take your job.
They want to intern with me.
Exactly.
And I'm like, sometimes I'm like, well, I'm like, sometimes I'm too busy. Like I have
Her
too many
name's
projects.
Seraphima, and she's from where? No, I'm just kidding. Coming back in.
Yeah, right. It's an interesting game. It's an interesting game. Trying to be an artist
Yeah,
and a
100%.
business person.
100%.
It's not easy, as you know.
Yeah, I'm all over. Fuck. Being an artist it's a horrible thing. Don't do it.
It's you know what it is. You know what it is.
It's a hard life, guys.
It's an adventure, is what it
Yeah.
is, and that's the only thing that it's uncomfortable.
I couldn't do it any other way. Are you kidding me?
Same. It's like I'm starting to realize that if I don't have some challenge that's making me go crazy, I'm actually more crazy.
Yeah. I also have this urge to have a body of work when I die, where it's like I didn't just do these things, but I had this whole like body of work.
You have something to show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I got so lucky on my creative journeys early, like in my 20s, where I felt success and I was around successful people. Then I think that jaded me to like, oh, this is always possible. Like this is possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where like if I hadn't done that and I was here now, I probably wouldn't push as hard.
Absolutely.
Like, as I'm getting older and I watch these I'd be more bitter, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Well, and so you had some pretty important mentors.
Yep. I think that's part of it.
Some people that you still look up to.
For sure.
And they're still producing good work.
Well, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, one of them.
And so like you're able to, you feel connected to those people.
Yeah. Well, they're part of the story.
They're part of your story, and so it's like their success feels like still like it's your success almost.
Yeah. I mean, I still, for at least, I'd say 10 years of my life, there was nothing but photography in it. So like that, I was so immersed in that world to the fullest. You know what I mean?
Doesn't that feel good though?
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't imagine my 20s are a movie.
Yeah.
Like they were.
That's what I've heard.
They were insane.
Something to be envied, I've heard.
Yeah. Well, now it's like a new challenge is of like, okay, without the mentors, like how, you know, what are you going to do?
You got to find new mentors maybe,
Yeah.
or people to
Creative
mentor.
mentors around here are pretty hard.
I mean, I'll mentor you.
Yeah. You already have.
Don't do it.
Yes, daddy. I'm just kidding.
You definitely don't want me as a mentor. I've had some great mentors as well. Not one in woodworking for sure, in timber framing, and then others just in life in general that I've really looked up to.
Yeah.
But it's pretty essential. I wish I would have, when I was younger, I wish I would have understood the importance of seeking out mentors.
Totally. I read I've read Robert Greene early, so that kind of made me a little monster.
Mm-hmm. Explain.
You know? Well, like reading the 48 Laws of Power at like 22, you know?
That's a great, I have that book. I've listened to that book like 2 or 3 times. I
Yeah,
love that
you
book.
get something new every time.
Oh my God, yeah. That book that you just said there, 48 Laws of Power, is such an extensive work on history.
Yeah.
And sociology and just humans. It blows my mind how much research went into that book.
I know, dude. Robert Greene is a G.
Yeah, that's a good book.
And then he also, I mean,
a scary book.
Speaking of mentors, he produced Ryan Holiday, who is now like a massive, The Daily Stoic. Like that's all he came out of.
Didn't he write Obstacle is the Way?
Yeah.
That's a great book.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very Robert Greene like.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Yeah, that book, Obstacle is the Way, definitely changed my perspective on a lot of things. Being as an artist.
Just the whole stoic mentality.
Yeah.
You know?
It's yeah. You know, it's funny since we're talking about, okay, so we're talking this stuff now, philosophy, we're wide-ranging topics. I've been realizing, so I love Stoicism, and I love like, and I know this sounds very cliche, but I love Buddhism.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't like Buddhism? But like, so I like Zen. I have a regular meditation practice, not because I think I'm spiritual or because it's like I feel like spiritual when I do it, but because if I don't do it, I'm 48 years old, so I have a lot of accumulated baggage and monkey mind, and if I don't do it, I go crazy. Literally, I feel like I'm literally losing my mind. So it's more of a state from vulnerability that I have a meditation practice and that I read these things. And so I really appreciate Stoicism and Zen Buddhism, but what I've been realizing is that they're pretty much the same.
Yeah.
It's so funny that humans that just kind of like really paused and thought about things and thought about life came to the same conclusions on the East and the West. Because people are like, oh, Western philosophy and Western thought is so bad. Eastern philosophy is good. Like, no, it's kind of the same thing when you really get down to the real philosophers and the dudes who are really making it work.
Yeah. To an certain extent. Did you ever hear Terrence McKenna's like whole thing on like the difference between like the East and West?
No.
Sorry, I'm gross. I'm zinning, guys. Zin and coffee, they look really gross.
Gross.
He I can't remember the timeline, but he's like Western civilization, they spent all their time working on like power. Like we have the ability to like smash the atom and do nuclear fission, where like the Eastern they were more obsessed with time. And so like you have thing like the Tao Te Ching, I think it's called, right? Again, I'm awful at this kind of stuff, but just parroting, guys. But essentially, like they were so focused on time, where they have this time thing all figured out, like way more than like Western people would do, and it's so fascinating.
I'd like to hear more about that.
Yeah.
Could you include that in the show notes, please?
Yeah, I can. Tense.
I'd like to. I like to hear that.
I haven't heard it in a while, so I can't quite.
But it's funny. I have heard a lot of throughout the years, and I've been guilty of it too, where I get down on Western philosophy and I get down on Western movements and thinking, and I'm all like, we're all pro Eastern thinking, but the more I really get into it, the more I'm like, boy, it seems like kind of the same stuff.
Yeah.
Especially when you get into Stoicism. But the other thing too that I've thought about Western philosophy and Western thought is that people are like, oh, it's too logical, it's too rigid. It's like, well, back in the day, shit was pretty scary. Yeah. They needed logic. They needed order, So they brought order and logic to a barbaric world. You know what I mean? It's like, thank God. Anyways.
I know it's crazy. It's hard. I'm trying to hold back going into ancient civilizations.
You want to go into the recent pyramid discovery with the big tunnels that are like twice as tall as the Dubai Tower?
I have my own little theory on things, like because I do think that the comet hit the Earth around 12,000 years ago. I do think that was the Great Reset around the globe, and because of that, that's how I kind of view like how the rest of the history goes. And I think that China might have, like that whole area, the eastern side, I think a lot more of that survived than the rest of it, which is why they had all these things like 2,000, 3,000 years earlier. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, they were exploring the oceans well before any Western civilization was.
And then who knows like what they're actually hiding, because there is this same pyramid structures that are like hidden in China, like that are lined up pretty much close to exactly what the Giza setup is.
There's 2,000 pyramids in South America that are underwater.
That's because of the flood.
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some about pyramids that the ancient people loved. It's if you really want to get into the weird stuff, in the Bible, it talks about the Tower of Babel.
Yeah.
Which was a ziggurat, which is a pyramid.
Really?
Yeah. And all the peoples of the earth, supposedly, there was no division. They all spoke the same language,
right? Yeah.
And they were building what's called a stargate, or a gate to the heavens. And then God was like, they can do anything they want. Anything they put their minds to, they can do it. So I'm going to confuse their language. So thus the tower, they gave them different languages, which is how the myth goes. But pretty interesting.
That kind of ties in with the Anunnaki theory too, if you know that.
No, I don't.
Because they basically say that like we're genetic hybrids, and so then they kind of were doing their own things, and then they saw that we were doing this stuff, so they were like, we have to like make sure they're not united.
It's so weird that you say that, because we're getting into it. So it's so weird that you say that, because in the scripture I'm referencing in Genesis, I believe it's in Genesis, about the Tower of Babel, that area of scripture, I believe it's either right before or after, it's within context of that ancient world, that there were giants, and these giants were called Nephilim, and they were genetic aberrations caused from the sons of man, or excuse me, the sons of God, seeing that the daughters of man were good, so they knew them, which is a biblical way of saying,
perverts.
Yeah, right. They knew them quite well. And then they had children, which were hybrids, and that's another reason why supposedly God flooded the earth. Anyways, so in fact, David killed a Goliath, who was a giant, who was considered who is considered a Nephilim.
I've heard a lot about these giants. I've just never seen anything that, other than the doors, and there's some weird things where I'm like, why would they make it that big?
Well, I've seen some beds. They found like some ancient beds that
but
are
you
like.
can just make a big bed if
You
you're
can,
if
yeah.
you're at a Diddy party, you know.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, a big bed, it comes in handy.
They're like, it must have been a giant. And it's like, no, that was just a pervert.
That was just a king with a harem. Yeah, you just needed more room.
That's so funny.
You, and you. Come here. Right. Yeah. Right.
No, the giant, or like the big tree theory.
No.
That like they cut all these big trees down and like there's all this petrified evidence of like essentially what they like. Have you ever seen that like that devil's one that's like up? It's like a weird.
No.
It's like all these rock things that look like massive trees that were cut and then petrified.
Interesting.
But like massive.
We
trees.
don't. I don't think.
The old trees.
I don't know what I believe. I don't know. I do know that I think that human history is a lot more weirder than we might imagine.
100%. They were just talking on JRE. They had some expert on there talking about telepathy and remote viewing, and like essentially remote viewing is 100% real. They have people that work for the government, and they have like 40 years of evidence of like remote viewing actually working.
Damn.
And they were trying to figure out like the physics of it, and they're like, "What is actually happening? Like, how is this possible?" And it's like because we are one consciousness having multiple experiences, and some people just tap into other levels, you know.
Well, I mean, have you ever heard of quantum biology?
No, I mean maybe, but no.
So there's this a fledgling science called quantum biology, or rather, it's just more of like a one of the branches of quantum physics. But it's basically quantum phenomena that occur in room temperature. And so photosynthesis is one of them, green tea is the other one, and then consciousness is the other one. So photosynthesis, they're saying that when the photon light hits the leaf, it goes into multiple realities. Like billions, if not trillion, infinite amount of realities to find the quickest way through the chloroplast.
Damn.
To the center of the cell or to the center of the chloroplast. I'm not really keen on some of this biology, but
Sure.
And then it says when the photon that finds the quickest route in all of the multiverses, mind you, each leaf is picking up trillions and trillions of photons.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's like within those trillions of photons, they're taking trillions and trillions of. It's just insane to think about all the different wormholes in a fucking leaf.
Yeah.
Anyways, and I
Plants
quote
in general are fucking crazy.
and I quote when the reality it has the most efficient route finds the center of the chloroplast. And I'm quoting this from a scientific article. It says that a ripple of certainty goes through the time-space continuum and all other variables evaporate.
That's crazy.
So that's why photosynthesis
I need
turns...
you to talk that into AI to make a video.
But dude, that's why sun plants photosynthesis going back to wood, okay? Wood is this hard material they can make stuff out of, but if you look at a tree, a massive tree, speaking of trees, petrified trees and big ones, there's no crater there. It didn't use earth to make that wood.
Yeah.
If anything, it creates topsoil. In a wooded situation, it's always building topsoil up. It's giving to the earth, but it's made of sun. Period. It's made of sun.
That's crazy.
It makes the photosynthesis. Trees are these quantum machines that build material for us. It's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah. Okay. So get this.
Well, it gets. I don't know if it's
so
it's
green
not fully made.
Green
of sun.
tea does the same shit. It's not made of sun, but it makes it from sun.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Photosynthesis, making from sun, light, right? Photosynthesis.
I get it, but there has to be like obviously a mineral thing too.
No, dude, it's trace minerals.
Really?
No.
It's
Yeah.
just all.
Think
all
about
of
the biomass of all those trees out there. The trace minerals will fit in a thimble.
Damn, I guess I didn't know that.
Yeah. So,
Learning things today, guys.
so get this: green tea is 50 times more powerful than any other antioxidant. That's because it doesn't travel from point A to point B to neutralize free radicals. It just beams. It doesn't. It travels through time and space. Okay, so consciousness, right? Just back to what you were saying. Consciousness is also quantum. They're discovering that consciousness is quantum. Therefore, our brains are inhabiting the multiverse.
Yeah.
So what you're saying with remote viewing, there is some scientific validity to that we actually kind of understand. Like our brains are quantum.
Yeah.
So what are we exploring when we dream?
That is exactly what I was just thinking. I was like, damn.
It's so weird.
It is so weird.
Anyways.
I cut my dreams off for many years smoking too much weed.
Yeah.
Like I just don't ever.
I feel like
the second I take 2 or 3 days off, though, it's like back to the multiverse.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I use
then
edibles.
I'm talking in my sleep and shit.
Do you have any repetitive dreams?
Not really. No.
Do you have any spicy dreams?
No, I have dreams where it's like deja vu. Like I'll have a dream 5 years ago that like I'm like I remember dreaming this.
Oh, weird.
It is weird.
Where you like have a dream and then remember that you also dreamt that dream years ago.
Yeah, it's really weird.
I've had that.
Always really weird moments too.
Interesting.
In my life. Like I'll be finishing. I remember one really vivid one of me like leaving the studio in New York with my boss, and like I had dreamt the whole situation like years before.
Interesting.
And it's almost like you walk through that and you're like, whoa, like
Deja vu.
Yeah, it's that deja vu where you're like, I don't understand how that works.
Isn't it interesting that well, maybe not all of us, but a lot of us experience that phenomenon called deja vu? What the hell is it? I've heard people say that it is a cross. It's somehow crossing into the memory channels. Whatever you're experiencing is somehow touching the memory part of your brain, but that doesn't even like that's like a guess. How do we even know that's occurring?
I like to just say that it means that I'm on the right path.
Yeah.
Like it means that like this is already planned. This is all pre-planned out. This is the life I chose.
Right.
You know?
In another life.
Yeah, somewhere.
Interesting.
Something. I don't know
soul
how
agreement,
it works.
a soul agreement. Yeah.
Guys, believe this or not, I don't remember anything before I was born.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, nothing. I think about that.
Come to think of it, neither can I.
Nothing. There was nothing. How do I know that I wasn't? How do I know everything wasn't just downloaded yesterday? And I'm here now.
Well, I don't know if you can. I wonder if you can know that.
Right?
That's a philosophical. That's a question for philosophy.
You know,
You have to apply Occam's razor to that, perhaps.
I think they say we live in a simulation now. The odds are we're in it already.
Well, it's like I've heard it said that that's exactly what we're in. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very strange. Reality is a lot stranger than we think.
Yeah, it totally is.
Yeah.
Or trees, man. We could talk about trees forever.
We were going to talk about wood originally.
It makes me. It's funny because it's all about consciousness and life. And like the first time I ever did psychedelic mushrooms, man. I don't think I ever looked at a tree. It's when I really noticed how alive they were. You can feel them, and you can feel their realms a little more. And like I've gone so deep before on mushrooms where like I've had a conversation mentally with a tree, like where I'm like, this tree is literally telling me. It's like trying to communicate with me.
I feel like I've had many arguments with trees because I was an arborist still am, but I was hitting the trees hard for a good 25 years.
Actually,
climbing.
that's a cool thing to talk about because I've always been kind of fascinated with those bros up there.
Yeah, I mean that's all I did was climb and cut for many, many years.
Yeah. Do you have any good stories? Like, you got any good ones you want to talk about?
Let's see. Do I have any good ones that
anything
could
where
for
like you weren't in
story?
charge, but maybe something like a tree fell through a house or something?
I've seen that. Yeah, I put holes in roofs, destroyed fences, broke my back, broke my teeth out.
Oh no.
I've seen
dangerous.
I've seen massive vehicles catch on fire that I was in and jumped out of, and then there are 60-foot flames 5 minutes later.
Oh my God.
I've seen it's definitely an adventurous line of work. But I would say that the most impactful thing of being the most impactful experience of being an arborist for so many years is the string of experiences of being outside day after day after day for most of your life with trees, either kind of cutting them, sculpting them, curing them of some disease, or taking them down. And my dad was a logger, my grandpa was a logger, my great grandfather was a logger. And many of my uncles were too. So like,
it's a lot of logs.
That's a lot of logs. It's a lot of logs. A lot of wood, but a lot of sawdust. But it's like you start to become, even though they're cutting trees down with their loggers, they still can't escape that green influence. They still fall in love with trees. I've worked with some real crusty dudes in the woods, old guys. and they all wind up, they can't escape it. This like subtle influence that the trees have eventually kind of gets them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. But I'd say that the string of days of working with trees in Wisconsin, like kind of create this like beautiful emerald, jeweled necklace, that goes on and on for years. It's really cool to look back through. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
yeah.
we can keep trees around too and cut them down. That's why
We have 30% more. No, we have 20% more green on this planet, I believe, in the past 50 years now.
I know.
We're actually gaining. The trees are gaining.
We're greening.
Believe it or not. Yeah,
we're greening right now.
I remember, I kind of grew up in the 80s, and it was like, oh, the Amazon rainforest is going to be gone in the 90s,
I'm too dumb to talk about politics, but I will say that the deserts that are supposed to be growing are actually turning green.
Well, that's true, yeah. And it's like, is it because of global warming? Is it because of this or that? And not to say that I'm not saying that global warming isn't real. I believe that it is real because the ice cap, because there used to be ice in Wisconsin, so clearly there's global warming.
The ice is gone because of the comet, bro.
But what I'm saying, though, is that like there's definitely been like a warming since the Ice Age, right? So
100%. Well, climate change is normal.
Climate change is normal. So is it good or bad, or is it both? And how do we adapt? And
I think communism is bad.
I would agree with you.
I think.
Man, we're going. Okay. I mean, I do. I think communism is bad, but I do think collectivism is good, which is where communism comes from.
Yeah. I think people are they're fun. I'm too dumb to talk about politics.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about the same. I can't even delve into that. I've got opinions, but opinions are like,
Well, I think that regenerative farming of any kind is the way to go for the future. And I think that, I do think we should stop cutting down the really old trees.
There's no point in cutting down old growth.
Yeah.
And there's very little of it left.
Well, if you go to Seattle, it kind of seems like they're trying to get rid of all the big trees. It's pretty wild, like what they're cutting down within that city.
Interesting.
But it's like that comes down to private property, and like people want the trees gone, and
And then what is considered old growth and what isn't, and
these. I mean, fuck, man. I saw some trees the size of this table that were just like, we took it down up front. And just like,
and one thing that we don't understand how the Pacific Northwest trees work, they grow 7 times faster than our fastest growing white pine.
Yeah.
Doug fir produces 7 times what we produce. Or when I say we, I mean eastern white pine.
I guess, I don't know how old the old trees are.
And think about how much we've been logging in the Pacific Northwest with Doug fir, which is what pretty much builds everything, it seems like. Doug fir, and there's like southern yellow pine and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, the amount of logging and the amount of timber coming out of that area is staggering.
Oh yeah.
And they're not running out, and they never will.
Yeah.
Because why would they do that?
They never will.
No, because they do strip clear cutting. So they cut a strip, plant a strip, cut a split, plant a strip. That's how they discovered. The person who was Susan Simmert is the one who discovered the symbiosis between trees linking with fungus. That's been a hot topic. She's the one who discovered it, and she was the one researching why Doug fir wasn't faring very well on these plantations. And she's the one who discovered through researching the strip clear cutting replantings why they were failing and why they needed to have other trees with them.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that would be the way to do it if you could do it over again. It's like you don't take them all out. You leave like a pattern of old trees always there to communicate with the youngins.
Yeah, right.
Because it turns out they do that.
They do.
And then, I know we talked about trees last time, and city trees die quicker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, we probably know just a fraction about trees.
We sound like some fucking hippies right now, dude.
Yeah, man. Trees are like God, bro.
There's some really amazing ones out there that do need to be kept. Like some of the old growth does need to just stay
I
there
agree.
forever.
I mean, I've logged some when I was very young. I remember logging a white oak savanna.
Do you want one of these?
What is it?
It's nicotine.
Oh, let me try it.
Have you ever done one? It's only 3 milligrams. This is the smallest one they make.
Sure.
But if you've never done it, it's kind of
peer pressure.
It's definitely not as fun as smoking a vape.
Is it It doesn't taste like anything.
You gotta give it a minute. It's gonna start burning and dripping a little bit.
Does it taste? Oh yeah, that does burn.
Tastes like manhood, dude.
I mean, I've chewed before, okay, and that shit stings and then makes you want to puke.
And gives you mouth cancer. This stuff, I think, is better.
Yeah.
I think the worst stuff about this is maybe the sugars in it.
Sugars.
Yeah, there's a sugar. It's a little sweet.
Oh, it is sweet. It's not bad. I like it.
Well, it turns out nicotine is a good neural stimulant.
It's a brain booster.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like caffeine.
I'm glad I'm off the vapes. Those things are a nightmare.
Yeah, I was hoping there'd be a vape here, but oh well.
Actually, all single-use vapes are going to be illegal in Wisconsin by July.
Really?
Yep.
Because of RFK?
I don't know if it's because of him.
Is he pushing that?
I think some mothers in Wisconsin are pushing it pretty hard. Yeah, I don't know.
It's probably not the best for people.
No, I don't think it is at all.
No.
I don't. I mean, I was addicted to it for many years. I did love it while I loved it. I didn't want to quit. I just knew I needed it.
You just moved to that form of nicotine.
Yeah.
Nicotine, I've heard, is the most addictive substance in the world.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I don't know if I need to ask ChatGPT.
I quit it for 2 years, so maybe I should start heroin. Just kidding.
Because you could easily quit that after quitting tobacco. That's good. I think that's sound logic.
Yeah,
should
tobacco's
try
a
it.
pain in the ass, man. I do have to go mentally crazy for a few days.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't imagine going cold turkey off of nicotine.
I get sweats and shit, like cold sweats at night, and
Jesus.
it's
No bueno.
yeah, it's not good.
No bueno.
But I love it now, so I'm just gonna keep.
Why quit?
Yeah, now that they say it's good.
Hey, it makes me smarter.
Turns out this is the healthiest way probably to do it. Or they make little mints.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh, or patches.
I don't think the patch is that good for you.
Oh, the transdermal stuff's bad.
Yeah. I could be wrong. I've done the patch and it'd make my like arm itchy. It also leaves a mark.
Do they have any
like,
suppositories? I'm curious.
I don't know.
Nicotine suppositories.
Actually, I heard that you can put a Zin up in your dickhead. Like
Really?
If you have a
foreskin.
yeah, if you have a foreskin, you can tuck one up there.
Interesting. I might be taking one of these for the road.
Apparently, you get quite a rush from it.
Really?
Apparently.
A vasodilator probably as well.
I've heard it floated around on like different podcasts. I've never.
Interesting.
I'm clean, you know.
You're a Gentile?
Yeah.
Wait, no, excuse me. I'm a Gentile. You'd be circumcised.
Yeah.
On the 8th day.
Something like that.
Are you Jewish? You're not Jewish.
I'm not Jewish, no. Catholic.
You look like you could be Jewish.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, you got a Jewish look in a good way. Why would there be in a bad way?
Give me some of that money.
I'm pro-Jewish, just so everyone knows.
I'm pro-human.
Hey, me too.
I don't like groups.
Yeah,
I know.
that's a whole.
We
other,
need them. We're tribal.
Unfortunately.
But
Yeah.
I'm too dumb for politics. I can't call this a comedy podcast. And then talk
This is a comedy
and then
po-
talk about my right-wing agenda.
Is this a comedy podcast?
Kind of.
Cool.
I mean,
Okay, I like that.
If you call
I
it,
think you can be. I think there's a lot of people that are in the comedy genre that are very political.
yeah, totally. That's why it's like it's safer just to be like, no, it's comedy. Dude.
Yeah.
We're having fun.
Exactly. I'm seeing a lot of comics on the conservative side.
I'm a libertarian. I'm the bisexual of the group. You know, I'm a little bit on both sides.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard it said that if you say that if you gravitate towards, like, say, for instance, one political party, and it's only good, and you can't identify the bad, then you're in trouble. It's like if you can't, like, say, if I maybe, like, I say, okay, this is a hot button subject, obviously, Trump. So if Trump is doing something that I like,
It
it's
was
like
some good wood. I wish I could do impressions. I can't.
I'm working on it. I don't know if I should bust it out just yet, but
It was the best wood.
no one's talking about this.
Oh yeah, you're way better.
So,
I need to like hear someone.
So, yeah. But say, so Trump does something. Maybe he does something good. Cool. Well, we should say that's good. I like that, but I don't like this. There's plenty of things I don't like about Trump. There's plenty of things that I'm like, ew.
I don't like any of it anymore.
But there's some stuff that's cool. There's
America,
some stuff.
I don't like the direction either of you want to go in. I'm breaking up with both of you.
But it's like well, but we can't. But we have to learn how to be like, this is good and this is bad.
Yeah.
Like, is there something that you do like? Some people are like, well, even if I do like it, the bad stuff just totally annihilates any good stuff. So I get that.
Yeah.
But like, you can't just. You can, but I don't think it's healthy to side with just one side. But I do believe we need both sides, right?
We do.
We need that healthy tension.
The yin and the yang.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
We
absolutely.
just shouldn't listen to the extremes on both sides. Really, we need the middle.
Well, but we should explore the extremes on both sides. I think that if you don't explore the extremes on both sides, you will get extreme. Because it's like people hold ideas, right?
All right, I'll be the liberal, you be the white supremacist.
No.
And go. No, I'm just kidding.
Can I have an accent?
What did you call me?
I called you a Jew. But God loves Israel, so it's okay.
Hail Satan. No, I'm just kidding. They've been doing that a lot, the left.
What's that? They've been doing what now?
Hail Satan.
Hail Satan. For what now? I'm sorry, I'm a little ignorant with what's going on sometimes.
Dude, I'm dumb. I don't know. I watch things on the internet, and then sometimes I think they're true.
I'm definitely getting hit by the nicotine.
Right? Yeah, it's a little. That's what I mean. It's a little.
Man, that's a lot.
Don't let it throw you off and get sick.
I'm not.
Take it out. Take
Okay,
it
I'll
out.
take it out. Excuse me.
If you
Can I put it back in here?
Yeah,
No,
put it. Yeah,
is
it's
there-
empty.
No, there's one left.
Yeah, give it to me.
Boop. Okay, there we go. Disgusting.
I already told this story in the podcast, but my first day of training at Amazon, I took my trainer gave me a 6 or 9 milligram one, and I thought I could hang. And like 20 minutes later, I was puking out the window of the car.
That's not good, dude. That reminds me, I remember the first time I ever puked with mixing tobacco and weed, which always is a bad thing for me. I never want to smoke them simultaneously. And I think I was like 15 years old in Fort Collins, Colorado, where I grew up. And I remember going to Perkins late at night, and we smoked in Perkins a blunt.
Inside?
Yeah, we had enough tobacco to kind of disguise the weed smell. And back then, there was no such thing as the stuff we have now.
Sure.
The good stuff we called kind bud back in the day. I don't know if you're old enough to remember that.
No.
Kind bud, yeah. Or chronic.
I do.
That's what
remember
we're smoking
chronic.
now. That's what everybody smokes now. So we were just smoking.
Now it's even crazier.
That's nuts. But I remember eating blueberry pancakes. And, I lost those in the car ride home. And blueberry pancake took me a while to regain my pleasure or my affinity for blueberry pancakes. But I do love blueberry. I still eat them now.
Yeah.
I have returned to blueberry pancakes. And in that note, while we're talking about blueberry pancakes, I just want to make it very clear to everyone listening that there are only 2 acceptable forms of pancakes, in my opinion. And I've eaten a lot of pancakes. I've eaten banana ones and chocolate chip ones and the lemon ricotta cakes at the Nucleus, which I do highly recommend. Those are good. But I think there's really only 2 acceptable forms of pancakes, and it's plain pancakes or blueberry pancakes.
Plain. What did you say? Plain. You
Just pancakes,
You also
man.
mean butter and
Butter, yeah.
maple syrup.
Of
right?
course, yes, of course.
Okay.
In that, here's another interesting note on that. I don't know if you've ever had shitty margarine and shitty fake syrup.
Oh, sure I have.
Okay, that's all we had in the 80s. You got to understand. That's all because margarine, because
Because they lied to us.
oil. Well, yeah, or they just they didn't know. Science has come a lot farther, food science. But I love organic butter and real maple syrup. That's so amazing. But for some reason, when I have all of that shitty butter and that shitty syrup, it's still good because it's just all these childhood memories,
I love
It's like
pancakes.
It's like chocolate pudding
I
with
know
the
I'm
yellow
being-
cake, the Betty Crocker yellow cake, I think it is. And
Oh,
just, like my mom used to make this stuff for me when I was a kid for my birthday called striped rich cake, and it was like yellow cake with just chocolate pudding, with holes in the cake so it would go in there, and then it would she'd put it in the fridge.
Good.
But it's like
I
the
think
worst
I know what you're
materials.
talking about.
It's like the worst stuff, but it's so good. I don't know. Now, I mean, at least it is to me by through memory.
Yeah.
It's association
Do you
of happy childhood memories.
I know I'm being a naughty boy if I'm eating pancakes.
I think I have pancakes every week.
Do you?
Yeah, my girlfriend and I like to go to Perkins. I know it's bad. We go to Perkins right now because we're trying to save up some money. So we'll go to like Perkins and we'll split a meal, or Denny's, and we'll, get the pancakes always.
I feel that I gotta do the eggs, man. I'm obsessed with eggs.
I love eggs.
I need the eggs. I got a good
eggs are the greatest.
We're
gonna make eggs great again, okay? When it comes to eggs, I always buy the best eggs, duck eggs.
Duck eggs. Only duck eggs.
Only duck eggs, okay?
I'm rich.
We're gonna be giving money to the duck farmers. A lot of people don't know about the duck farmers and how great they are. But ducks are coming back.
Quack, quack.
Quack, quack, America.
The ducks are back. I was going to say, I have a good throw up in a car story for you.
Let's hear it.
So I was kind of young. I don't know if I was visiting LA or if I was living there. I think I must have been visiting, actually, because I took an Uber. I was partying at my friend Travis's house in Venice, and we were just drinking kind of all night, and I can't remember what kind of set me off. I think it's because we drank for a long time and then we ate like a bunch of food, but I didn't probably eat enough, and then I kept drinking. But it was the end of the night. My phone was dead. My friend's like, "Oh, I'll just throw you in an Uber to get back to the hotel." Turns out it gets me an Uber fucking pool. I didn't have to be in cars for like 10 years. So at this point, getting back in a car for like a long journey drunk was still kind of a new thing for me, because I was living in like London or New York, which is train based. And so I just remember getting on the highway and be like, oh, this was a mistake. And then I found out it was an Uber pool because I was the first person in, and we had to make 3 stops before we got to me. We're literally on the highway. I just fucking puked in this packed Uber pool. No. Someone right here, someone right in front of me.
What did you puke in? On the floor?
No, I remember like getting most of it out the window, but then there was like another go at it, and it just keeps going. It was an absolute fucking nightmare.
Did anyone have empathy for you? Or were they just pissed?
I think everybody in that car was pissed at me.
Oh, man.
And then, when you puke and you're like, oh, I feel so much better.
Yeah.
That's how I was. Like 20 minutes after that, I was just covered in puke in this Uber. This Uber guy's yelling at me. I didn't even order the Uber, so I puked in my friend's Uber pool, which turned out to cost around $250. If anybody's ever wondering what it costs for the cleaning fee, but
wow,
he was always mad at me for that because he got a really bad rating.
Oh man. That sucks.
I know. It's kind of it's funny looking back on
my
it.
puke story was way before Uber.
Yeah.
I like saying stuff like that now as I grow older, where I'm like,
this is way before your time.
Do you remember? You don't remember this, but the only form of advertising we used to get was through McDonald's and TV and movies.
And the Sunday paper.
And the paper. It was bad. And of course commercials. But
I mean,
yeah, things are pretty cool now.
I showed up right when the internet did, pretty much. I mean, I was just an adult, kind of, at the internet. Man, I got a Facebook in my senior year in high school. I didn't have an iPhone until I was in my 20s, though, which I think is a good thing.
I didn't get on Facebook till I was like 30.
Really?
That's
yeah,
crazy.
You're 10 years older than me.
Yeah, I didn't have an email till I was in my 20s.
Really?
Smartphones didn't come out until like my 30s.
Sure. I was in New York. I had to keep up. I wanted that iPhone.
I just remember having a BlackBerry, an iPod, a GPS.
Don't you kind of miss the iPod? Just a thing that played music, no bullshit.
I know. But it was nice because I didn't have to have my GPS thing and my AirPod or the whatever thing and then my phone. There's another piece in there too. Well, first I had like a flip phone, a personal digital assistant, a PDA, and then I had the GPS and the iPod.
Do you remember printing off
things.
maps to try to find where you're going?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember when I had a tree service way back in the day before all of this. I would have an answering machine. People would leave a message. I'd call them back, and then I'd get directions to their place, which was always an adventure. And they'd give me a direction from the center of town and out into the boondocks, and I had this form of shorthand writing the directions down. That's how I'd find shit.
That's fucking sick.
It was cool. Now I'm weak.
I did some of those road trips with just the printout maps. What a nightmare.
Oh my God. I remember trying to find tree work in the cities before GPS ever hit the web.
Yeah.
And it was impossible
I don't
to
know
find shit.
how I would have survived without like just navigation at this point.
Well, imagine what it did for restaurants.
Yeah.
Like you can find any restaurant you want now. You can open any restaurant and just, people will find it.
Yeah, you can find it. That's the beauty of it. I just imagine one day the grid goes down and it's like there's nothing. That'd be fucking crazy.
It will be crazy if it goes down.
Even in Wisconsin, man. Like,
chaos.
I couldn't imagine doing a delivery job without navigation.
Oh, Jesus.
Like Amazon wouldn't really be possible because they wouldn't have the knowledge and the people to like get to the houses.
Oh my God. This technology has allowed us to be so much more free. It's crazy. But then it's, of course, we're just going over what everybody's talking about right now, but we have all these great advantages, but then the huge disadvantage of all of the choices, and it makes us crazy and not have a attention span.
Totally.
So now there's this movement of going through dopamine fasts, technology fasts.
Yeah. I do think people will look back on this time and be like, you guys were crazy with that. Like,
Oh, yeah.
or even like, I think they'll figure it out at some point that it's like, do not sleep next to this stuff. Do not have this stuff in your ears for 12 hours a day.
Do not be on social media.
Turns out Bluetooth does go through the blood-brain barrier. Does, you know, like.
Turns out that social media does make you depressed.
Yeah. I tell you, I have a couple hours off the phone. I'm hyped.
Yeah. I've noticed a direct link between happiness and how much I'm on social media. I've been scrolling, and as I've been scrolling, I'll shut the phone down, and I have a pretty low information diet when it comes to this stuff. Like I'm pretty bad at following friends and people on social media and in general. I just kind of flip on there to see my messages and see what the algorithm is showing me, which is mainly like cats, otters, architecture, plants,
and hot women.
No, I stay away from that. Not to say I think it's bad, but it's too distracting.
I'm just kidding.
I know that's your business though, so I get it.
I know. I don't
Wonderful
know.
business to be in.
It's fun, I guess.
Absolutely. Beauty. But anyway, so like I've noticed, like I'll shut the phone down and then I'll take inventory of myself. I'm like, I don't feel very good psychologically.
Yeah.
And I think it's because I just judged a bunch of people. Am I better than them? Are they better than me?
Yeah.
They're younger than me and more successful. They're whatever. It just goes on and on.
Yeah.
Or I'm like, my shit's better than your stuff. And then I get off, I'm like, boy, that made me depressed. It was all subconscious. I wasn't necessarily knowing what I was doing. But
Totally.
I'm getting better at understanding that that's what I'm doing.
Oh, I catch myself doing shit like that too.
It's not good.
I know.
No bueno.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
It certainly is.
Just gotta
It's a great quote.
keep moving.
Yeah,
You
do.
It's hard being an artist because that's all you do is compare yourself to other people, and then you always think your shit sucks.
That's a tricky thing to get out of.
Yeah.
When you first, like the beginner's advantage is you're naive and you're a fool.
Yeah.
And you don't give a shit. You just care about the thing that's calling your name.
Yeah.
The facet of whatever you're fascinated with.
Well, plus you can lean on the fact that like I'm a beginner.
Yeah.
So of course I'm not that good.
It's like a waiter who it's like his first month. I remember I served tables for a while, and for the first 3 or 4 months, I'm like, it's my first month.
I love saying that at work.
Yeah. It's my first month.
I just started here fucking 8 months in.
Right.
Just like, I didn't know.
Yeah, it's like, I'm sorry, I'm new here. How long you been here? 11 months.
Just got here.
Yeah,
I did that selling cars. I'd always be like, I just started. Also, I don't care about this job. So if you buy it, buy it. If you don't, you don't.
Did you make any sales? Did you have any luck?
Yeah. I was good at selling cars.
That's my brother does that. It's tricky stuff.
If you can meet someone day of and do like amazing photos with them and get them comfortable enough to like shoot photos even nude with you, then I feel like you can sell people cars.
So you're just like, oh yeah, you look great. You look great in that driver's seat.
It's all about people skills.
Like, why don't you just slump over that wheel a little bit? Maybe. Oh no, lean your seat back.
Or not even that. Just like
Bump
being
that
able to
stereo.
make them like feel like they're becoming friends with you almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, like you gotta like hit them personally, connect somehow.
Like they want to buy it from you.
Yeah, like they like you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think that's what.
If you don't like your salesperson, you're not gonna buy.
Oh hell no! You'll never buy from somebody you don't like. No.
Yeah.
Unless it's a hell of a deal.
Yeah, it's got to be. And then you would have bought it anyways. You know.
Unless it's something you really, really want.
Yeah.
And if it's something you really, really want, then the person can be a total jerk, and then it's almost like artists.
Yeah.
Like, I want that from you. I want that art from you. It's like, well, you must wait for 5 years.
Or pay me $5 million.
And then maybe I'll do it for you.
Right now.
That's my
get on the list.
That's my exotic.
Yeah, I can't wait to be like, yeah, let me get you on the waiting list.
I'll put you on the waiting list. You are number 20.
Yeah, 20. Should be free in 2030.
It will get made when it gets made.
It won't matter though. I'll be dead.
I will put your money in escrow.
Well, yeah, we're about an hour in right now.
Damn.
I really need a water. Do you want to do a little more?
Yeah, dude.
I wouldn't mind doing a little more.
You want to pause and have some waters?
Yeah, just pause and grab a water. I had too many zins.
We'll return.
We'll be right back, guys. Bye. He's actually an attention whore.
Hey, buddy.
What's up, boy?
Jack.
The boy.
Oh, yeah, hi, baby.
He's a love bug. He's like a rag doll.
I love cats.
He's also a murderer.
Oh, is he a hunter?
He's an outdoor cat.
Oh, yeah.
He's really bored in this house, and he just looks at me like, why are you keeping me in this jail?
And he goes outside and explores. If I could choose to be any animal, I think one of them would be a house cat that gets that's let outside.
Yeah.
Like, they have the best life. Have you seen that?
I'm just going to do that for me, sorry.
Have you ever seen that video of a POV cam they attach to a cat's collar?
Yeah.
And it's their day of adventure.
I want one.
Like, they're like saying hi to all these cats walking on fences. Like, they have the life, man.
You can give him a kick too if you want.
No, I want him to be in my lap.
He'll be there if you want him to be there.
Kitty. Meow, meow, meow. Hey, baby.
He's an attention whore.
You a baby?
You want to know a fun story about him? Is I actually bred him with a white Persian cat when I was living in LA.
Really?
He had 2 litters, 4 both times. I got $250 a pop off those cats.
Dud. Studley.
But yeah, when I moved out of LA, he came back here and stayed at my parents while I was kind of figuring it out for a few years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I didn't want to bring him to Seattle because I knew it wasn't permanent out there, and my parents have like a pretty good spot out here with like a little bit of land, so like he was able to just live the cat life.
How old is he?
He's like maybe 5 or 6.
Okay.
I can't quite remember.
Good kitty.
Yeah, he's a young boy.
A young boy. He's a young man.
Yeah, he's a young man. But I'll tell you a funny story. Actually, one time, it was like right when I moved back. I was staying with my parents for a while, while I was like figuring out my house and shit here. And I have a computer set up in the basement. I got my 27-inch iMac, and I'm like doing a hardcore photo edit. I don't know. I can't remember what I was editing, but it was a few hours of like editing. Pitch darkness, basement, nighttime, 10 p.m. at night. And I have headphones on like this, and I'm bumping rap music. I'm in my own world, right? I'm at it for like 2 hours. I swear to God, hardcore session. I take my fucking headphones off, and I hear this like crunch sound, and I'm like, what is it? What is that noise? I turn my phone on, and I go to like below my feet, and my cat has completely gutted a baby rabbit.
At your feet?
And is eating it at my feet,
Whoa.
dude, in the basement of the house. So he like caught it, brought it in, and was just chewing on it at my feet. Guys, this is the first time I think I've had Jack on the podcast, actually, dude.
Jack.
He's the G.
Jack, you're a lot bigger
He's a big boy, dude.
than I thought.
He's half Mancoon.
He's a big boy. He's soft. I love
He's got one little knot.
I love big male cats. They're so chill.
Yeah, he was chill once we got him.
Got a
neutered.
big purr going on.
Oh yeah, he's got the purr, dude. They say that the
Can I get the mic on him? Go ahead.
if you can.
The purr what?
They say the purr frequency actually like helps with cancer and stuff. Oh yeah, there it is.
I believe it. Hey, buddy.
He's really just a love bug. He loves attention.
Hey, pal.
Not just attention. He's just a lover.
He's pretty too.
He's
got
like, let me just lay right here with you.
There we go. There we go. Hey,
Jack's
buddy.
got a new friend today, guys.
Jack.
So tell me about some. I want to go deeper in the woodworking.
Yeah, dude.
And
Let's
just
do
kind
it.
of explore. So I guess you got into it because you're from like lumberjacking
Yeah.
families,
Yeah.
and then how did you really? I don't know. Like, talk to me. This man has the most amazing workspace, personal workspace, like that I've seen. I want one. Your shed. I want to talk about your. What do you call it? A shed?
It's
Not really a shed.
It's like the studio, the woodworking
Oh, yeah, the
studio,
studio.
but
I
it's
guess
like
studio's better.
technically it's set up as a beamery.
Yeah.
So I've got a big gantry crane on the ridge beam that like this pulley that rolls back and forth that can hoist big huge timbers.
Yeah.
It's actually a small place, but in photography it looks kind of big. But
Yeah.
it's over 250 panes of glass in it.
I'm gonna put a picture of it in.
Yeah, hell yeah, do it.
Yeah.
And it's the first thing I ever built. That was kind of the beginning of everything
Yeah.
when I started designing and building.
How does something like that kind of come together? Like, did you have like a team of people that kind of helped you at certain times, or
Nope.
you did it?
I did it all by myself, except for one buddy helped me put on the roof and some of the glass doors. A good friend of mine, Christopher Bartlett. He owns North Studios with RT Vrees.
Okay.
Yeah, here in Eau Claire. But yeah, he helped out a little bit. But yeah, that actually was a very
Jack's like, you're not gonna pet me. I'm gonna leave.
moving on. He got his love. But yeah, so that was a very important move and a very inspirational time for me. And that's when I named my company Oxbow Designs.
Great name.
And that's when it all happened. That's when I was able to get a pretty decent house on a land contract. It was a corner lot, 2 lots, and
Actually, a quite beautiful neighborhood. I got to know that neighborhood on that Amazon route. Actually,
yeah, it's a cool.
I was like, oh, I never even knew. Like, if you go up that way a little more, there's all those really nice houses.
Yeah, there's some fun little houses up there for
like
sure.
brand new builds, obviously
On the
but
hill, yeah.
Even if you drive like 15 minutes out that way.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Menominey's growing.
Dude,
Yeah.
Menominey's got some sick waterfront.
Yeah, not bad, huh?
So see if you go to like North Menominey,
Lake Menomin.
up that way.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, big houses.
That's true. Well, you're talking about when you get up to Lake Tanner.
I'm not quite sure what lake it is.
Yeah, there's some big lakes. There's Lake Menomin,
Because there's
which
like
is a smaller
there's
one.
like a river, right? There a river or something rolls through there, and then also there's like pockets of lakes.
the Red Cedar. Yeah. There's the Upper Tanner and Lower Tanner. That's above Lake Menomin.
I like that name. Tainer.
Tainter.
Tainer.
Yeah.
Kanene.
Uh,
Comedy.
Jokes.
Jokes.
But no, the shop is cool. The shop I loved. It was like I did not know what I was doing when I built it.
I was gonna say, was that like one of your first bigger builds?
It was my first build ever. I had no idea what I was doing. I'd never built anything. I mean, I was like a schlep and some construction crews when I was a kid, but that's about it.
Yeah.
So the craftsmanship of the place isn't great, but I figured it out.
It's so beautiful.
Thanks.
I don't understand.
I made the windows and doors and everything.
I guess it's all cost. That's really the biggest issue these days with anything that like looks cool.
It cost me $5,000 to build
Yeah, that's great. But it would cost everybody else like 20.
because they'd have to buy the lumber. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I sell that same shop design. Of course, I would fabricate it much more beautiful. Just the frame itself, I'd sell for $50,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I've got talking to a client right now who wants something a little bit bigger.
Did you do the foundation for that place?
Yeah. I mean, I poured the foundation. It's shit. It's bad.
Is it?
I mean, it's just got pockets in it. Well,
it?
it's not that great. Yeah.
I'm.
There's an art form and
I
leveling
almost like
concrete.
want to work for a concrete place just so I can know how to build foundations. So when I finally get that land, I can just do it myself.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, building forms isn't that hard.
Right.
But it's the finishing of a wide slab of concrete. You got to have this. You've got to.
I know.
Flatten it.
I know nothing about it. Well, don't you just get the right tools and?
Yeah. Right. Kind of. Yeah. It's tricky.
Yeah.
It's very tricky.
I'm sure there's a mastery to it.
Yeah. Flat work is impressive to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
I
got
guess I get what you mean by wonky now.
Yeah. There's a little dips
Yeah.
in it. If water gets if it gets flooded, it'll
You'll see it.
Yeah, a little standing
pockets.
water. Yeah.
Sure.
Here and there. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, that's like I don't know. There's something about that I like.
Yeah. It's a little rustic.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
any of the old. I'm so like heavily old world influenced that I kind of like the imperfections that you find in that kind of stuff.
The wabi sabi.
You know what I mean? Like even my old art studio that I had here in town, like how it was like, it was so beautiful and it's like kind of destructive.
Yeah. It's
Self.
the patina of time.
Yeah. But I also love the idea of like, one day just kind of learning the skills to like build some shit.
Oh yeah, you should. Everyone should.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more simple than people think.
Totally.
You just have to think through. Well, it's like I've been thinking about that a lot. Like when I see master craftsmen, and when I first learned timber framing, particularly like Asian timber framing, which is very complex, it was staggering how complex it all was, and it really baffled me at first. But then I realized that you just have to. It's like how you eat an elephant. You know, it's like one piece at a time. But I've
never had an elephant.
I've never had elephant either. I heard it tastes like chicken though.
I don't know if I'd want to eat an elephant. I guess if it was in front of me, maybe I would think about it.
It just take a long time. You got to eat it one piece at a time.
Yeah.
That's the whole analogy or the whole
Just
metaphor.
one little piece.
One little piece at a time. Yeah.
True.
Right.
Well, it's like any big goal. It's like I was telling this kid the other day, I was like, just don't focus on like the big picture. Like it's just more about like lay that brick by brick,
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Piece
sure.
by piece.
And that's the part where I think a lot of us, especially me, kind of fail is you really have to believe in something in order to
I believe
do
money
that.
makes it happen.
Yeah.
Fuck. Subscribe to my Patreon, guys. Love you. I'll drink water like this for the rest of the year.
Yeah, money is money helps you with everything. But it's funny. I've seen projects that have had a high budget and there's just no soul in it. Not to say that I've seen some with a high budget that have tons of soul in it, but I do feel like the soul comes from an artist that hasn't had all the resources. That's something that I brought up when I was asked to speak to AIA at the Duluth Design Conference. Yes, American Institute of Architects. Anyways, one of the things I brought up was if you don't have the resources you think you need or want to accomplish the look or the dream, that's very frustrating. But it has a very powerful effect on you in that you have to strip down and keep stripping down. Well, I can't do that. Well, I don't have money for this. I don't have the resource for that. Fuck, I don't even have the skills to do this.
Yeah.
So what is it that I want to see? What's the essential? You're like stripping away the superfluous, getting down to the essential elements. You're getting down to the elementals.
Yeah.
The elements of what makes it beautiful, and then that's all you got.
Totally.
And that actually is really beautiful. And so that's an example is that in my shop. My shop is just wood and glass. That's it.
That's all we need.
I didn't know how to timber frame, but I had a router and some clamps and I glued things together and I clamped things together and I made the big curves and I took what I knew and I took the resources that I had and I was able to narrow it down to what I can do with what I have and what's the essentials here. And it worked.
Totally.
But I think if I had a bunch of money, it probably would have lacked that spirit.
Yeah.
But if you do that over and over and over again, all of a sudden, when you do finally pay your dues and you do get money and resources, now you can create something.
Yeah, now you're prepared.
Now you're prepared because you know it's essential. Now you're prepared because you know less is more, as long as you know what makes something beautiful. Mm-hmm. Is because you're forced to go, why is this beautiful? What makes this? What are the elements of this thing that I'm inspired by?
Yeah.
What are the actual elements here?
100%.
I mean, and it's even more subtle with photography, like with what you do. Like that shit's very subtle.
It's interesting that you said that though, because I could totally relate when you're like trimming it down. It's like, what do we have to work with? Like, I don't have money for this. I have this, and then for me, because I do that, I do a lot of shooting kind of on the fly too, where it's like, okay, obviously I don't have money to put into this, but like, what's the best situation we can get out of it? And it's crazy, like where the ideas come from. Like, it's like almost like you open up to the muse and like the higher consciousness.
Yeah.
And like things could turn out better than you thought they would. Totally unprepared.
Absolutely.
Just by like being willing to be like, all right, well, we're going to make this the best that we can. And staying open to the creative juices and the flows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like you're in a dance.
Yeah.
You're dancing with You're dancing with ideas and materials and resources.
You know, photo shoots. Sorry, I'm gonna move this because I'm like hunched over way too much. And the way I have this set up, it hits the fucking thing, so it makes all this fucking noise. Anyways, the thing about photo shoots is like there's so many levels to it. Like I used to do literally $100,000 productions where like $50,000 to $60,000 would just go into equipment, and then it's like you're talking hair, you're talking makeup, you're talking production, like all of these little things. And then I've also done the shoots where it's like there's literally no money going into this. You have a backpack and a camera. It's just always like what. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
You're still shooting photos, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's pretty wild.
So how? Yeah. And it's like, how do you feel about some of the projects that were low budget as compared to the ones that were high budget?
Well, for me, it's all about like if I'm working at least specifically for a client, it's all about like walking into the shoot. It's more about like we all are on the same page of what we can actually accomplish with what we have. Like I'm really good at being like, we just don't have the budget to do something like that. You know what I mean? But we could get it in this world for sure with what we have, or we need to invest this much to get it to look like that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a lot of it has to do with projects and money and budgets. For a while, it kind of held me back because I was like, well, fuck, I can't do this because I don't have that. And I just kind of was like, no, that's because like fashion, it's hard because fashion, you need a stylist. Like you need fits that are relevant to be able to keep up in that fashion-y world. But then not only that, you need access to the models, which I do have access to the models. That's one thing I have. But if you talk to everybody, like I don't usually book hair and makeup because I can't afford it. And then I don't get styling. Usually I'll make them. So like if I had the budgets, it's easy to level it all up. It's just, but if you don't, you still have to like keep creating. And I still feel like I do some campaign worthy work with like no team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like that's where true art is, it flourishes under those conditions, even though it's uncomfortable and I don't like to, and even though I don't want to be there anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like I've paid my dues, but if I'm still there, well, I guess that's where I'm at, and that's what the universe thinks I should be.
It's funny you said that because when I was working for Peter Lindbergh, we actually shot Timothy Chalamet and some other girl some fashion model before he was huge, and it was a Peter Lindbergh shoot. So if you look it up, he didn't have that many by the end of his life. I'm shooting with him. I'm like, I'm on set with this girl, Grace Coddington, which I don't know. You probably don't know her name because you're not really that deep in the fashion world. But she's like this legendary stylist, worked for Vogue. I think she maybe ran British Vogue for a while. Can't quite remember. Maybe she's just the lead stylist or something. But
she talks to me all the time.
She's a fucking legend. She's like 90. She's like 90 years old now. She's like the famous, like if you know fashion, like there's a famous lady with like wild orange hair.
I've seen her.
That's her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she was on set. It was just like this crazy moment. And I'm shooting with Peter and we're like shooting this like broken down diner. And he looks at me and he goes, "You want to be a photographer?" He's like, "This is what you get. You get dirty glass." And he's like shooting through a window.
Damn.
And I'm like, damn, that is like gangster that he said that.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah.
Because it's
dirty
true.
glass.
It's like, you got to, I don't know.
Well, think about if you have like a canvas and paint. It doesn't matter how much money you have.
Yeah.
You got to be good.
Yeah.
Or at least you have to really.
Or something.
There has to be something traveling through you. You have to be some sort of conduit.
Yeah, something has to come through.
It can't be about you it can't be about you. So like, or it can be, but then it's like it has to be some facet of you that's universal. Maybe I don't know.
I don't think good work is
about you. It's about the thing.
Yeah.
It's about the thing that you can't wait to express or that you're trying to express. So I feel like painting, it's like you can't really fake it. I feel like with what you do, if you throw a bunch of money at it, I think really what you're throwing at is the ability, you're throwing money at artists. Yeah, you got to have all the equipment and stuff that's very expensive and whatnot. But I feel like really what makes the difference is the eye, right? The it factor that the photographer has. In architecture, it's different. It kind of, because look, if you have several $1 million, you can throw all kinds of money at architecture and it's supposed to look pretty cool. And right off the bat, you can walk into it and go, ooh, wow, like look at this material and look at how big it is and look at this great room and this and that. But I've noticed more and more, the more I see people that haven't refined their skills in aesthetics, when it comes to architecture and interior spaces and whatnot, it's like it's soulless and it's a big McMansion.
Yeah, McMansion.
And,
that's a good way to say it.
But so kind of it's easier to disguise it with architecture, with money.
Yeah.
You can't do that with painting or even with photography, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But like with architecture, it's a little bit easier to get away with it.
I think if you have money in photography, they can make you look really good.
But you got to hire a good photographer.
You got to hire a good assistant.
But if you don't have the eye,
trust me, like you can hire a team where
Yeah.
it's like you're not gonna fuck up. I know people that do it.
but I mean, I couldn't go out and do it
Yeah, if you had enough money.
if I was leading it. But who's seeing the shots and putting it all together?
If you have enough money, you're gonna be able to get those shots where you need them. For example, I worked for this guy. I don't know if I'll say his name. I'll keep his name off here. But I worked for a guy who lives in Miami. He made his money doing dental stuff. He like sold dental stuff. He sold a dental company for like $500 million. He was an artist. He loved photography, but didn't really know much about it, but could afford everything. So like they started, he's not running any of this stuff, but he started a studio called Maps in Wynwood, Miami. But then he would fly a team from New York just for his like test shoots to like make them great. And then he was paying under the table the person from Italian Vogue to feature him.
Nice.
And so like the lead editor was like getting a kickback of like $10K to then do a feature with his work.
Yeah.
And so
So he was more of a curator of talent.
kind of, but he was shooting the photos.
He was pushing the trigger. He was pushing the button.
We were getting it there, and then he was going. He was just shooting.
Just shooting.
Once the light is good.
Now, once the light is good, exactly.
It's kind of.
But isn't that everything?
Yeah.
So how does a novice do that? You got to have somebody who's got the eye.
You have to master lighting.
Exactly. That's photography, right? So then that's what
It's
I'm
easy,
saying.
man. Psychedelics. Aperture and shutter speed are pretty easy, guys. ISO, easy.
It's easy to you now.
It's not hard to master, though.
Well, nothing's hard to master if you spend enough time with it
Yeah.
and do it enough.
Imagine if I spent 20 years in photography and I wasn't good by now.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It'd suck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Well, there you go. But it's like, but you refine those skills by not having.
What I am is more of the artist. I suck at business. That's why I'm trying to figure it out in my late 30s.
And I'm still trying to figure it out in my late 40s.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with artists, and that's what artists need to learn is how to get financially fluent.
Yeah.
Because they have something to offer. Like if there's an artist that all they care about is the thing, you know what I'm saying? Like they want to see the thing in existence. They don't give a shit if they make it or somebody else makes it, but they want to be involved. They're feeling something travel through them, and they don't care about money. Well, those people need to care about money. Those people are the ones that actually need to care about money because they actually have something to offer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like it's always some rich benefactor that comes along. Like Frank Lloyd Wright. Have you ever been to Taliesin in Wisconsin? His Spring Green.
I haven't, but I know his work.
All that whole everything was. This was before he was famous.
Yeah.
That was all paid for by a benefactor that believed in him.
Yeah. That's what patrons, like artists need patrons.
We do. And
speaking of patrons, guys, if you made it this deep, subscribe to my Patreon. It's free to join.
Yes. And yeah.
Everybody.
And then also hire me to build you things if you're rich.
Yeah.
Or if you're well off. Or if you just have an inheritance.
Yeah.
Hire me.
Yeah.
Because I want to keep making the stuff that I'm making.
Yeah, we should talk about some stuff that you've made.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a question.
Yeah.
This is kind of a fun one. So what's something you really would like to be able to do, like within the lifetime of your work that you haven't yet? Like a big goal that you're like, if I did find that, I don't know, city of LA wants to hire you to do some kind of installation piece, like something like that, where you kind of have a crazy budget. Like, do you have any ideas of what you want to do?
Okay, so I want to build, I've always wanted to build, I guess now what it's called is an eco resort. Mm-hmm. I want to build a complex of structures that interact with one another in it could be a desert, it could be on a volcano next to the ocean, it could be in the rainforest, Costa Rica, I don't care. It could be in the forests of Wisconsin. I want raw landscape that's beautiful, and then I want to integrate structures, areas of repose, and areas of areas that stimulate you, and that I have a million ideas, and I want to build. And interact. I want to interact with nature and with some surroundings, and I want to add the human element, and then invite the human element in, and I want to create an experience for people. Like I really, really love that. Like I just finished this lower unit to the Airbnb, and it's getting booked out. It seems like it's going to do well.
What's the Airbnb called?
It's called the Oxbow House.
Yo, the Oxbow House, guys, check it out.
In Eau Claire. But it's an all black space, and it was.
Wait, you only let black people there?
Correct. It's black floors, black walls, black ceiling, a lot of black furniture. It's pretty vibey, a lot of lighting. It's fun, but it was bare bone budget.
We'll throw some photos in here.
We made it work. But one of the things that I found is as I was staying in it. I really liked vibing out in it, but then it's like we prepared
beautiful. Yeah.
So we prepared it for people to stay. My girlfriend and I, we prepared it this last weekend. We got it cleaned and we got it ready and made all the checklists and checked it off.
Yeah.
And then I really got an amazing feeling, just like I was so invested in their experience. Like that gives me so much joy to create an environment and an experience for people. And I'd love to do that on a large scale.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good start, right?
And I'd like to really involve a lot of water too. I'm obsessed with ponds and water features and incorporating those with structures.
Yeah, I need water. I was going to do something kind of similar, or I had an idea similar when I thought I was going to make a lot of money back in the day. For a minute, I thought I brokered this deal between this energy company and Bed Bath & Beyond. But
Wow.
then it ended up not going through. But had it gone through, I would have made like $1.5 million.
Okay.
And so I thought 9 months into it, the negotiations, I was like, damn, this is going to happen.
Wow.
And then it didn't happen.
You're brokering a
But
deal.
that's where Flow State Farm came from, because I wanted to create some kind of like just something,
Okay.
which I think a lot of people do want to do that, but they don't have the means.
Yeah.
Or
But
the aesthetic vibes that like you have. Like you are a true artist. I can see what you want, and it would be amazing.
thanks, dude. Yeah.
I want to go there and do ayahuasca.
The experience would be like an ayahuasca trip.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not, but it would be great to do ayahuasca there or any psychedelic drug for sure. And that's the spaces that I really love they're calming and they're also
Intentional.
exciting. Yeah, they're intentional, but they have this calming. They're so. It's like I've noticed that like Japanese architecture, for instance, Japanese architecture is so calming, but it's so stimulating simultaneously.
Yeah.
It's intricate, but it's not. It's under the radar intricate. Like, you ever notice whenever you look at, actually, when I was growing up in Colorado, I remember coming to a realization when I was 18 years old. I've been staring at the mountains for about 15 years. I was in them quite often. I grew up right next to the foothills in Fort Collins, Colorado. And I remember having this realization when I was staring at the mountains as I was driving down I-80 or somewhere. And I was looking at the mountains. I'm like, the mountains are getting more beautiful to me. Strange, like a mountain range or a forest isn't, obviously can be very like, whoa, wow. But like when you live around it for years, it doesn't decrease in beauty. It only somehow increases because you start to catch the subtleties.
Yeah.
And it's deep. It's just never ending. And I feel like
I miss mountains.
I feel like humans can do that with architecture and with the things we create.
Totally.
So like I feel like the Japanese have really hit on some amazing aesthetics where like initially it's beautiful, initially it's calming, like an ocean or like a forest or like a mountain range, it's calming. But over time it stimulates you, and over time it gets more and more beautiful. Mm-hmm. So that's like, it's timeless, I guess, is another word. But that is definitely what I want to go for, is that kind of stuff where it's like nature, but it's human nature. It's like architecture doesn't have to not be connected to nature. We're part of nature.
Yeah.
Birds build nests. Why is it that when we build something in nature, it has to be a mar? It doesn't have to be a scar or a mar on nature. It can enhance it.
Totally.
It can be a relationship.
I think it just comes down to people's intellect and whether or not they like have seen enough stuff because I feel like around here people just don't know. Like
Well-
they know, like you and me study design, so we're looking at the best interiors all day long, every day. Like
Right. Yeah.
going, God damn, that's-
Exposure.
Yeah,
We're being exposed to beautiful things by just simply looking at them.
I know.
And I think that's how you build taste.
Yeah, I think the winter here makes it hard too for those really cool, open kind of style houses. You know what I mean? Like the concrete and like the wood and the glass.
You have to spend a bit more money to make that happen.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
it's like finding builders too.
Oh boy. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I feel like that would probably be the most costly part. Is like people, you just won't find people that build that kind of stuff
Yeah.
around here.
But the Japanese had a lot of the removable walls and the inside, outside in type stuff it's Japanese. I mean, they've been doing that forever, right? Frank Lloyd Wright ganked so much stuff from the Japanese. And these walls that slide and open and remove, they had those in very cold areas of Japan. But they had real fascinating ways. They had other sliding partitions and drop-down partitions that were insulated.
I guess, yeah, that's all you'd need is like a partition for the winter.
The other thing they would do is when it would snow or during winter, they'd just wear big, thick cloaks, and they'd carry cast iron coal receptacles that they would keep under their robes.
Damn.
And they would open their house up to the winter.
That's crazy.
And they had their little central
fresh air.
fire that they would sleep around and
Sounds
cook around.
kind of
here.
nice.
They believed in heating people, not spaces.
Heating people, not spaces.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
I like a toasty room
Yeah.
in the winter.
Same. I would prefer to have that
I like sleeping in the fucking cold though.
with like a mummy bag.
Yeah. Well, the last few weeks have been, or like maybe the last week's been great, just with the windows open, just wake up a little chilly, but
I know, right?
fresh air.
It's getting down like 50s at night.
Yeah.
70s in the day. It's perfect.
Today's perfect. I almost like brought this to the front yard,
That would be beautiful.
Just
We'd
sit
hear the
outside
birds.
and
We'd hear the birds.
talk and look at the graveyard.
Man, that is seriously what I want. Like when it gets the graveyard. Yeah, right. We should just have the podcast in the graveyard. Remind us where we're going.
What?
Right across the street is a beautiful graveyard, ladies and gentlemen. It reminds.
I watched someone go in it the other day.
Really
Yeah, I've seen like maybe 2 people go down in the hole.
makes you think.
It does. It goes quick.
Makes you think about the important stuff.
I don't feel any spirits here though.
Huh? Have you felt them in other like other places you've lived?
I'm very energy attuned, but no, not really.
Okay. Huh. I'm not sure if I've ever experienced any poltergeists.
Neither. But you never know. Like living next to a graveyard, you're like, I don't know.
You'd think that they wouldn't inhabit graveyards, right?
You know what I like about it? No one's around.
Yeah, no doubt. You could have a picnic over there and no one's going to mess with you.
And have an audience, you know?
But speaking of doing things outside, like that is one thing that I feel like most architecture needs to have some sort of pavilion, wraparound porch, something like that. I was just talking to my girlfriend the other day about how the most luxurious scenes, from what I can tell throughout history, involve a pavilion of sorts with people chilling in this pavilion, open to the elements with a garden surrounding it with water.
Yeah.
It's like every king, every palatial
That's what you want.
grounds has some sort of open architecture. Like we want to be outside, but we kind of want to be inside.
Yeah.
Like I feel like when it doesn't get dark till 9 o'clock and the sun is shining, I can't be inside.
Yeah, I don't
I
want
gotta be outside. I'm like, man, and right now, the cobbler's children doesn't have what is it? The cobbler's children don't have shoes or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now, I can build these awesome things, but right now, I am, I'm investing in other things, but and trying to make money and other investments. But like what I really want to do is create my own environment.
Totally.
And it's like, man, I want to build some sort of beautiful decking dock system with, some sort of beautiful tea house, like
I know. Sorry.
is some sort of tea house, like studio, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
That'd be fucking sad.
oh yeah. If anybody's out there and they want some sort of tea house studio, let me know.
Oxbow Design.
It'll look like Japanese, but it won't look Japanese, if you know what I mean. No one will look at it and go, that looks Japanese.
Are you turning Japanese? Are you turning Japanese?
Always.
You know that song?
What is? I think I'm turning Japanese. I think
Oh, yeah,
I'm turning
that's it.
Japanese. I really think so. Oh yeah.
I really think so.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I guess Jackass blew that up.
They did that.
They like run in the streets with panda outfits on.
Oh wow.
Something like that.
Oh my god.
It's pretty funny.
I love it. No, yeah, I've never been to Japan, but I'm kind of obsessed with Japan. Ever since ninjas came out in the 80s. I mean, at least when we got exposed to them. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I was in grade school when that stuff came out. Karate Kid, I was in grade school when that came out. The Asian invasion.
I love that stuff. It's funny how that show made a comeback.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
No, Karate Kid.
Oh, Karate Kid, yeah.
Like how they did that whole spinoff.
Yeah, I watched a few of those.
I watched the first season. It was fun.
Yeah, I think I watched a few. It's not bad. It's good.
But this is boring podcast talk. Let's get into the woods here. We're an hour and a half in right now. Let's talk about a little shibari.
Oh, shibari, yes.
Speaking
Speaking
let's talk
of
about
Japanese.
your knot skills and how you kind of went down that world. Because you're kind of known for that too around here. You're not.
A little bit, yeah. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Shibari is, so for those people who don't know.
We can keep this deep in the Patreon too, so it's fine.
Okay, good. For those of you who don't know, shibari is Japanese bondage. And so just like everything that the Japanese do, if it's beef, like Kobe beef or, I don't know, whiskey, it's like they just make everything the best. It's like, wow, you want bondage? Check this out. We've been doing it for hundreds of years. So like their bondage is gorgeous. And yeah, it's sexy, and
I would say it's an art form now. I mean, I
it's
feel
a
like
super
people
duper art
have
form. Yeah,
completely. It's probably bigger now than ever.
Oh yeah, it's growing definitely, but it requires a ton of skill.
Yeah,
and I was an arborist, and so as an arborist and a climber, rigging is essential. So you really develop a lot of knowledge of rigging and dynamics. But when you start rigging a human body, you better be careful.
So what is that called if you do rigging?
So suspensions. You're talking about for humans?
I thought maybe you were a rigger.
They call us riggers. If you're a shibari artist, you're called a rigger.
Sorry. That's a funny word.
Rigger. But I was also referred to myself as a rigger when I was in tree work. You're a rigger. Yeah. Oh.
You're going to get us banned from YouTube, dude.
You mean like the R word? Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Rigger. Yeah. So shibari is the Japanese art form of bondage.
Yeah.
And so it's very beautiful. The knotting is beautiful. The styles is like you can tie someone's hand behind their backs and then bind their chest and bind their legs together, or bind bamboo to get them into these different positions, or suspend them, or it can be floor work. Some of it's sexual, some of it's not sexual. It depends. You can get very sexual with it.
Yeah.
Or you can be just very artistic, or both,
Yeah, I think that's what kind of makes it beautiful is the sexual element of it. It's like it's an adult thing, obviously, but
yeah,
there's like a power dynamic obviously there too. But like, I don't know. I think if you're like a long-standing couple, I think people get into that to keep things spicy. Like
right, yeah.
It's not.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a way of like one of the things I like it with, like for instance in relationships.
I mean, it's like a dominance, submissive, obviously thing.
Yeah,
you gotta be in that. It's not for everybody.
And it's also kind of a capability kink for, in my experience, for women.
Yeah.
Women are like, oh wow, he's skillful. He's skillful and knowledgeable with his hands, with this art form, and he's accentuating my body, and it's also tactile. He's also caring for me by not killing me.
Yeah,
and he's
that's what I mean. It's like really primitive. But also like
it's primal.
Maybe that's
there's definitely like primal aspects of it. Like you said, there's the dominance and there's the sub and dom aspect of it, which is extremely primal.
Yeah,
and I've tied up many feminists. I think the only women I've ever tied up are feminists. Hello. I mean, who isn't a feminist these days, right? We all believe that women can do whatever they want, right?
I actually think they should get back in the fucking kitchen, dude. I'm just kidding, guys.
Wait, you're kidding?
Yeah. This is Patreon only. So if you're listening, love you.
Yeah.
I'll put the first hour out to the public.
Well, I mean, okay, so the whole thing about kink, that I've found is that this dominance submissive thing is is almost like we're returning in some aspects to some sort of traditional male-female role. I know a lot of people will get pissed off at me saying that, but I've noticed when I've worked with extremely, I don't know what you'd say, very liberated women who would almost be disgusted in a relationship where if you would say, so I'm dominant, you're submissive, like, fuck you.
Yeah.
But in that space, I've noticed, and I'm not saying that men don't get in that space and men don't want to be submissive and blah, blah, blah.
No, there's
but
plenty of dudes out there wearing a cage right now.
Sure, yeah. But on a whole, and in general, what I've at least noticed, and yes, this is limited to my own experience, okay? I've noticed that these women, it's fulfilling something primal within them. They want to, and a lot of people are going to hate this, but it seems to me, and I'm not saying I want this to be the case, but it seems to me that women do want to submit to a dude on occasion, perhaps, or maybe in a relationship. Because
we're not generalizing. It's just there's obviously a population that
for sure
are into it.
But I mean, like I've been even young women, women from their, I include 40 and 50s and young women. But
when 50 Shades of Grey was the best-selling book in America,
exactly,
you know that like the women are the ones that are actually
of course
into
they
this.
are. Of course they are. So we can't deny that this is some sort of primal thing, and I've talked with a lot of women in kink, and they could be trans, they can be lesbians, they can be fierce feminists, and they'll all say kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
They're like, this is hot. I want this guy to dominate me.
Yeah.
And I see that more often than not. Mm-hmm. And shibari is a great lead into that. There's a great, space to allow that to happen.
Totally.
For everybody. And
totally.
And it's nice for the dude too. Mm-hmm. But I feel like they're experiencing it more than I am. I don't feel like I'm dominating anybody.
No, totally.
But like when I do, but sometimes if I want to get into that domination role, you can get rough with them.
Well, there's a lot of different shibari, right? You could do hands tied, or you could do like you're suspended upside down.
You can do everything,
right?
Oh yeah. I mean, you can bind the mouth shut. You can put it over their eyes, their mouth, their titties, their genitals. You can tie them into all kinds of contorted positions. It can be pleasurable. It can be painful. It can be pleasurable and painful.
Yeah.
And you can get rough.
That's why they like it.
Of course. Well, think about what a woman. Okay, so we're getting into primal male female stuff, but what have women been attracted to for centuries, sexually?
Yeah.
Obviously, when they want a partner and have a family, things shift and are a little bit different. But sexually, like back in the day, what is a woman kind of just naturally attracted to?
Protection.
Someone strong, someone dominant, and
rich.
And so it seems like women there's a visceral, primal need and desire to be dominated over by a strong man, by a capable, strong man. And so
At least for the last real women left.
Yeah. And I mean, a lot of women who don't want to admit it will eventually admit it when they don't.
This podcast is going to be in trouble.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Not this
Again,
one.
this is my experience.
All of them.
This is my experience. I'm not saying that this is across the board or this is truth.
No, I think
this is what I have
beautiful.
Experienced,
And then we actually did a shoot together, which is why I thought it would be appropriate to kind of bring it up, because when we did it, everybody enjoyed it so much. It was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was.
And even just as an educational purpose, like it's smart to kind of know what you're doing a little bit too.
Yeah. Oh, you better know what you're doing, especially you can really hurt people.
What do you think if someone is interested but they're not like down the rabbit hole yet? Like, where do you think is a good spot to start? Like just Pornhub? I'm just kidding.
You mean if they were to say, I want to be tied up?
No, I want to like learn how to tie.
Oh, no, Pornhub, definitely not.
Unless you're the master at tying up, dude.
I would definitely don't go to Pornhub for that. If you want to get into shibari, there's different resources like the Dutchie.com is really good. Shibaristudy.com is really good. And it's like $20 a month for those things, and it's super good resources to learn. You got to probably spend about $150 on rope, You definitely want to start on the ground. You don't want to do any suspensions whatsoever.
Yeah.
That is like an anatomical study of the human body. You have to know where to tie, how to tie. You can't tie any knots that are going to slip. Dear Lord.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. And let me tell you, that is a difficult, you'd think, it's like, man, I've tied a lot of knots, and it's easy to accidentally tie a knot that'll slip.
Yeah.
You really got to know what you're doing. So there's a lot of rigging knowledge associated with it. So you do have to be really careful.
Yeah.
But it's
I don't think I would ever try to hang someone, but
it's exciting.
Little-
But there are
rope
very
every now and
there's
again.
safe ways of starting though. There's partial suspensions.
yeah.
Yeah, and suspensions for me are just like tying back into how I've very rarely had a man say, "Would you tie me up, dude?"
Yeah.
But I have lots of women like, "Oh my God, tie me up." The enthusiasm is across the board. So many women want this. It was very surprising for me.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I've found that women do enjoy is being suspended because it's body work. It's challenging. It brings pain too. And I don't know what it is about maybe the women well, of course, the women who are attracted to rope are probably more into that. But I've never really isolated a personality type with women who want to be suspended. You can have a nice, just kind of like a nice girl and kind of a crazy goth girl or a nice goth girl, whatever. But it's like this wide ranging where they're like, oh, I want to do that. Oh my God, I want that. And it's like,
I think it's an experience.
They want it because
it's figure it. See what
they
it's
want to,
about.
they want to feel it. But it's also like they know there's pain involved, and they, for some reason, want the pain.
Women are beasts with pain. They're like meant for pain.
It's so interesting to me. It's something that I never really understood until practicing shibari and the interest that
I'm the
I've
opposite.
gotten.
I'm a fucking pussy, dude.
Well, I mean, I've experienced plenty of pain. Thank you very much.
I don't like pain.
I'm not into pain. I avoid it at all. Yeah,
I can get through it though, but
I'm already in too much pain from various injuries. It's
I know
like
I'm really starting to get worried about my ankle. It just never wants to feel good anymore.
Oh yeah,
Kind of sucks.
yeah.
I think I broke it a while back and I didn't get it fixed, and now it's just fucked.
Oh dude, I remember jacking my ankle up so bad
Yeah.
when I was young. Yeah,
I have a video clip of the exact thing I'm talking about. My buddy Memo, if you're listening to this, shout out. I did a rock to fakie on like a 12-foot wall skateboarding, just fell back. My fucking foot was like this for like
3 weeks.
weeks
Yeah,
and weeks. And now, like, even now, just like, at first I thought it was one pair of shoes, but then now I'm realizing it's all my shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I sprained my ankle so bad once. I wasn't able to walk on it for a good month, but it swelled up about 4 times its size, and there was blood spotting. In the middle of my shin, it tore the tendons like up here.
This one just.
And then the sole of my foot was black with blood pouring internally to the bottom of my foot.
Ouch.
Yeah, so my ankles are pretty fucked too.
That sucks.
But my knees are worse.
Your knees are worse, yeah.
And my neck is somewhere in between.
You just need some stem cells shot in those
I
bad
need
boys.
so many stem cells, dude.
Stem cell.
I need so many stem cells.
I heard if you come on your knees, the pain will go away too.
Interesting.
Just kidding.
I'll have to try that.
Trying to be funny.
I'll try that.
I'm retarded, guys. It's fine.
Do you have to like put it in a syringe or something? Like topically, it's like a topical ointment.
Yeah, you just kind of, and then rub it in.
How is that again?
I don't know if they see that. I don't know if I can
detailed instruction
I can't quite see that. Maybe through the glass table. Well,
It's a very relaxed motion that you're using
Yeah.
there. It's
yeah.
I like that. That's good. It's very chill.
Trying to think how I jerk off now. What day of the week is it? Just kidding. Where's the belt? No, I'm just kidding. I'm not into asphyxiation, but
Oh God.
that shit's kind of wild.
Again, I'm not into it either. But then
It's just at that point you're just getting high. So just go get high on something else.
yeah, not lack of oxygen,
Yeah.
not brain death.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not kill our brains, especially at this age. I have the memory of a goldfish right now, so I need all the brain. I need all the cells I can spare.
I don't know if it's just the long-term weed use or if I am literally losing my mind day by day.
That's both. It's both. Dude.
I think it is probably a bit
It gets
of both,
worse.
dude.
Yeah, my memory is shit.
I've reached capacity. And so for every new thing I learn, something's getting thrown out, dude.
Right. You got to defrag.
Something's out of there.
Mm-hmm. Cognitive load.
It's true. Speaking of loads, dude. Just kidding.
Healing loads.
The healing power of the load.
Healing loads.
There's something to be said about that, but
Yeah, there's a lot to be said about that. Healing loads.
totally. That's so funny.
I know I administer them often.
I hit a wall at 145, guys. I'm like, all right, I almost want to go deeper into the Shibari stuff, but it's so hard without having like a computer here where I can like pull up things and we can like talk through it. Like I wish like season 2, which is like next year, hopefully I could get a TV or something that
Fuck
we can
yeah,
like,
dude.
pull things up. It's hard when it's just the one cam.
You got to use your imagination.
Yeah, true.
Got to use your imagination.
Do you? Let's talk about artists. Like, who are some of the bigger influences, just in general? Like when I think of mine, it's probably like Virgil Abloh or like Peter Lindbergh or like just like who are some people that were like, man, I don't know if I'd be on the same path without having learned about them.
Yeah, George Nakashima. He is the guy who pioneered in the 1950s the live edge table stuff. And live edge stuff I don't really like, especially right now. It's overdone. And but it wasn't so much because of the live edge that I liked of his stuff. And he's the guy who really was the first to do it. I love the full slab and the voids and the swirls of grain and the butterflying of the fucked up parts and the general just chaos of the wood grain. You know, the full slab stuff, and then all the joinery involved. And he was so Nakashima was a master. That guy really influenced me a lot. So Nakashima, I would say architecturally, obviously Frank Lloyd Wright. I would say Kengo Kuma really influenced me. They're an awesome architectural firm out of Japan. Bjork Ingels Group, awesome architecture group. And then, what are some other ones architecturally? But just in general, like what really his influence as far as styles is Japanese minka farmhouses and temple construction.
I know. I want just that. It's just the woodwork. Fuck, it's so good over there.
Oh, they're the best in the world.
Yeah.
They have been for centuries.
I mean, they got buildings that last 3,000 years. It's like made out of wood.
Almost, 1,500 right now.
1,500's oldest.
Yep, and it's pure wood. Yeah, some Buddhist.
Are there older
monasteries.
ones in like Asia at all?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think that the
China does
oldest
some
wooden
crazy
structure
woodwork.
is somewhere like 1,500 years old. I think
Is
it's
it?
in Japan.
Is it?
I think so. Yeah,
I don't know the answer.
yeah, I think so. But you know,
Still, 1,500 years is pretty crazy.
it's insane. It's absolutely insane. No, their stuff, their joinery is the most complex, most utilitarian, and hidden. Like their structures are so clean, you don't even see most of the joinery. You don't see until you bust it all apart, and it's like it's this beautiful puzzle. And it's such a puzzle because they don't want it to be seen.
Yeah.
They love these clean lines. They
I
definitely
like the whole Zen vibes.
they really influenced a lot of modern architecture for sure. Like,
They were laughing at us when California was burning down.
oh, I bet
You ever see those like sprinkler systems they have on those buildings?
in Japan.
Yeah, they like come out for every house, and they're just like giant lawn ones, but they go like
That's all you need.
They go a few hundred feet.
You ever try to light a wet fire?
Yeah, it doesn't work.
You can't do it. It doesn't take much water to keep fire away.
I know.
That's what the whole Los Angeles thing cracked me up. It's like, get some sprinklers, man. I mean, I know that sounds like insensitive and like parochial or simplistic, but it's true.
Yeah, it's true. They have the money too.
It's like it's just lazy.
Yeah. It's
Some,
crazy.
but the Japanese have been criticizing California for a while because of the laziness in the infrastructure. They're like, why are you guys building these things? Yeah, you build these things because we want to. There needs to be turnover in 20 years. You're probably going to tear it down. But what happens since you're building it so shittily? When an earthquake happens, then all your infrastructure is gone. You need some stuff to hang on. Like, and I mean, they've been living with earthquakes forever, and that's one of the reasons why I love Japanese joinery or Japanese timber frames rather, is because there's no corner braces.
Yeah.
That's why they look so cool because in order to avoid corner braces, you got to do this other cool shit. And so it makes it look really cool, makes it look beautiful, like more of a crystalline structure. Mm-hmm. But they've have so many earthquakes there that they've had to take it into account constantly. Yeah.
I guess I've seen some of those like model ones with like the Japanese house, and they all like kind of shake but don't fall.
They shake but they don't fall down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty genius.
You put corner braces in, and a building will fail catastrophically.
Really?
Yeah, it'll just pop apart and fall. So they learned that several thousand years ago. So they had to work around that and create these gorgeous forms of architecture.
That's so sick, dude.
Yeah.
Well, shit, man, we're about 2 hours in.
All right, dude.
It's been a pleasure speaking with you again.
Yeah, man.
This is fun. Sorry, I take it a little out there, but
yeah, man. No worries. That was fun.
Adults only.
Yeah.
Whatever. Fuck
it was good. It's a great way to have a conversation.
It definitely is. You got any plugs for the people? Anything else you want to throw out there in the world?
Check out Oxbowdesigns.com. I'm not proud. I'm not like super proud of the website because I'm not a web guy. But
website sucks, guys. But go check it out.
Yeah, website. Yeah, I'm a craftsman of wood, not of websites. Some missing stuff on there. Check out my Instagram, Oxbow.designs, and check out the Oxbow House on Airbnb.
Also, I think he's wrong. His website's pretty sick.
Oh, thanks.
So check it out. It's clean. It's cool.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, Sarah, my girlfriend did help me out quite a bit with that one.
Did she? I love your girlfriend. She's great.
She's great. She is great.
Well, guys, thank you again. I love you. Subscribe. Bye.
Peace.
Nirvana means in Sanskrit, blow out. That is exhale.